Good morning. This is Robert Forsch with Flat Earth Research for today. I wanted to expose the reality of how water seeks its level. The tide has been coming in for about 45 minutes right now, and it will do that for about a total of 6¼ hours from when it was low tide. I've got a video I'll be posting in a little bit that I zoomed in with the P900. What I want to show you is just very simply how the reflections change even with the simple ripples that are there. And I wanted to illustrate some points of how this actually works out. There's a bit of a contour that we can notice with the washboard surface like that. And the current that's moving through this little tidal area is just water continually coming out of the sand up here. Higher is drier, lighter is wetter. I'm sorry, lighter is drier and darker is wetter. That's just how this works. What I've wanted to do by proclaiming that water exposes the global lie, hashtag Flat Earth Research, is simply this. The reality that the water that we utilize every day gives us clues as to the world that we actually live in. The symmetry of all this, look at the laser beam of the light moving over the current, the carved away sand right there, lifting it up a little bit, and now we see it largely different. So perspective is a big deal. This is off the coast of South Carolina, actually on the coast, and it's in the Cherry Grove area right here. So I'm going to drop this down and we'll see the ripples because of air current. And sometimes the tidal pools provide very still, calm water. Now once the water over there completes the path where a wave can come on in here, it'll shoot waves all the way up into the different areas like that. So there's a lot of people out here enjoying this. I'm going to zoom in and show you a little bit closer what that looks like. One of the reasons we can't see other continents is because of the moisture in the air. That's visible clearly right there. This will be converted to a YouTube video later. I know I've got a lot of content. I posted some amazing sun videos. This cloud right there is that cloud right there. I can't put it in the same shot exactly. Yeah, it says I need to rotate my phone. There's a problem. Yeah, the problem is a lot of people believe that there's others stuck upside down. I reposted the bicycles upside down on the beach again. I shared it. It's got about 19,000 views. Is this even possible? You know, for people to be upside down in relationship to other people. Apparently it won't let me zoom in when I'm doing this. There we go. Okay. Upside down people in relationship to other people. Water not falling off a spitting ball. Dogs walking upside down in relationship to other dogs. No, it's just not happening. And that's the reality of that, is that there's up and down, and lighter than floats, heavier than falls. That's just what it does all over the face of the earth. The water fills its container and shows irregularities in the surface of the beach. So I'm going to take us right on up here and show you how this is going to fill in. This is the low spot in the beach. Water has continually come out because of the hydrostatic pressure, and then areas of the sand, air bubbles will come out because the water is displacing the air that was air pockets under the sand. That's just the reality of it. In the view right there is a convex mirror. We can see that, and this is a low spot being filled in right there. It's just what it does, just the reality of it. So reality exposes the truth. Reality is the truth. I do believe that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No matter how many people we get to see the reality of that we didn't go to the moon, live on a globe, they're going to end up in hell unless they're born again. And there's a whole lot of people that know we don't live on a globe that need to be born again. And then there's a whole lot of people that are going to church and they may know we don't live on a globe and they haven't been born again. What gives? See the interruption of the light beam there? Here's the deal. People need to be born again. That's that. So what I'll do is show compelling video, and I'll implore you to seek the truth with all your heart, whoever you are, and share it. If you like this kind of content, go ahead and share it. Let people know. Okay, so where do I need to be to get the light beam to be longer? See, it can go downhill, but the break in that will be when it hits the peak there. It won't go over the top. There'll be an interruption in it. The water filling in the spot will complete it. I've got absolutely mind-blowing content on my YouTube channel. And you might not like some of my theology or what I talk about. You can hit the mute button, open up another window, listen to whatever you want. Not going to hurt my feelings. There we go. Bam. Now that light beam's going to change with the depth of the water and how it contours. It's just what it does. Those of us that know what we're looking at realize that. A boat that's a short distance away apparently almost entirely disappears because of wave action. I've got photos of it. Just posted one today. Oh, wow, the buildings are all slanted. No, the reflection is because the beach is slanted. If it weren't, the water would be all the way up there. If it were flat, the water would just go in. Our high tide, our tidal activity here is about an hour and 15 minutes ahead of Myrtle Beach, which is about 25 miles away. It's just how it works, actually. So let's zoom in a little bit, see what's going on out there. Dun, 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 dun. You know, it's kind of funny. The people, there's a lot of haters that just think we're crazy people or stupid. It was so cool yesterday. I have a new friend. She said, "You're the first flat earther I ever met." She's like 48 years old, very nice lady. However, she's unaware of the level of deception. She said, "Well, do you believe the story of 9/11? I said, "Well, I believe." "Do you believe in 9/11? Yeah, it happened. We're being lied to about it, though. The official story is clearly deceptive and not real, not actual. And then there's a lot of versions of that. So what happens is we talked for almost 2 hours yesterday, and it was very interesting. So one of the things that we encounter, or at least I do, and I trust you do as well, is we have people close to us that we want to help realize the reality of the world that we live in. And unfortunately, they've been indoctrinated by a system that causes the messenger that's bringing them new information, causes them to believe they're crazy or deceived, irrelevant, that type of thing. So let's just zoom in 10 times, see what we can see directly there. A bike riding in the ocean, apparently. Right out here is where I was hit by lightning. It was a test. God wanted me to see what I would do when I believed He wanted me to keep recording. So I did. I posted it too. It's called Struck by Lightning, creative title. I sure do appreciate all the encouragement from y'all. It really, you know, I just cleared the screen. I saw a comment, just made me get a little choked up. I really appreciate the encouragement. It's absolutely awesome. It's tough out here. However, what the internet allows us to do is to connect with one another and share this reality, this extremely important truth with people, and let them know that the deception is so grand, it's going to require divine intervention to extract them from it. See, there's the reflection of that building right there. As the sun approaches and lights up the buildings, they'll pop much more. And with this camera, it's got a grid, an architect grid. Let me turn it on. This architecture grid, landscape grid, lets me see plumb and square. I'm so used to seeing it, I can't unsee it. Let's zoom in on some pelicans right now. Are they going to go underwater? No, I don't think so. Oh, there they are underwater. No. Oh, I got to catch up with them. There we go. So, aerodynamics. The air going over the top of the wing creates lift. The speed of the air is different. You can look it all up. The aerodynamics. Whoa, I lost focus here. Let's see if I can pick that up. I lost a little focus there. So here we go. Back on around. Well, it seems that whenever I put the LCD monitor through the camera, it impairs focus temporarily. So there's little shadows in front of the waves. We could see the break in the reflection there. You could check it all out. It's not that I don't show something that I'm afraid will expose a flaw in what I'm saying. And then these are images to engage the hearts and minds of this audience watching. Parents holding hands with children. I filled out a form last night. I started to, and it was a scam. It was Amazon.com. They were thanking me, and then I was redirected to another site. It said male, female, or other. We're not in Kansas anymore. Well, I'm a man. I'm married to a woman. We've got children. That's how it's supposed to be for the family unit, not this whole transgendering, this androgynous Hollywood transpocalypse, okay? There's the break in the reflection right in front of your eyes. I wonder if it'll complete with this next wave. What do you think? What are the odds? Bam. I don't have to run around the beach like a crazy man. I can just stand here and show it to you. I've seen it. I've seen it time and time again. So when I got unplugged from the television programming and came out here and started interacting with people and handing out invitations for eternity, what happened was I got unplugged from this control system, a mind control system that also conscripted the pharmaceutical industry. I was on pharmaceuticals and alcohol and other drugs. And now I'm clean and sober, and I love it. Because the reward center that is fully functional because of healthy nutrition and choices that are obedient. I just do what Jesus wants, and he makes me real happy for that, for doing that. These clouds right there are those clouds right there. You can't see them too much now because of that wave that just came in totally through the reflection. So let me do this. So when people come out to enjoy this, are they able to see it? Are they able to recognize it? There's flat earth meetups happening out here all the time. Some people are aware of it. Some people are not. They don't know. So I know we've got elevation in this world. There's no secret there. We've got mountains that are over 5.5 miles tall that we know about. And then there's land that we don't have ready access to. I can't go to Antarctica and show it to you. However, there's video of it. Admiral Byrd and his team. There's other snippets of the evidence around. However, I don't need to go to Antarctica or fly in space. I can stand right here on the beach and show you the world that we actually live in, what it looks like from this perspective, from this vantage point, and encourage you to explore your own area. And so photography is a big deal. The photographers, a lot of times I'm convinced, don't know what they're looking at exactly, that we're on a non-moving earth. Some of them are, because I talk to them and I find that out. However, they know how to put pretty reflections in pictures. And now that you, or for those of you like me that are aware of what we're looking at, well, we can help them see the beauty of that. Okay, so I'm going to try and zoom in on the people down by the tree there. So that's one of the other reasons why we can't see other continents, is because of moisture. That those people I zoomed in on are less than 1.5 miles away. I know that. And yet we can't see the land much on the other side of that because of just the moisture there. So there's ambient temperature, humidity, and particulate in the atmosphere. So I think it's time to walk up in here and show you some of this activity going on right now. Those clouds there, they're right there. It's just how it works. So we've got the ebb and flow. It's coming in and going out. And there the buildings are. Yeah, there's some ripples. We've got about a 5 to 7 mile an hour breeze coming out there. Today is going to be a bit shorter broadcast, I suspect. I don't have my battery pack on it. And now I'm going to go and drop my camera off. It gets a little bit tough because, well, handling the technology, I don't want it to get damaged, so I've got to be careful with it. Oh, yeah, I've got to set it down on the ground. I'm using my my Delio here. I think I'm going to drop it. So what I'm going to do is put my cleat back on the back on my camera here, and then I'll put it up above, and then I'll be able to stabilize it and show you a little bit differently. This isn't meant to be a cinematic expert production. I'm trying to do the best I can with what I have. Okay, so we can see that now, and we couldn't earlier. Remember, I had to drop the lens down. Now it's visible right there. What's a little bit tough is adjusting this camera to capture that, because I don't want it to drop. I'm going to level it out, and let's see if I can do that without losing the broadcast. Okay, so we've got the camera back up, and I'll just turn it on. I'll just turn it on and show you. So now let's zoom on in on these people way on out there. It's kind of tough. I'm sorry. What I'm actually gonna do is to roll with my iPhone and let my P900 go for a while and just show you some things. Okay, so the wet sand there we can see is interrupting the light beam. Let's move over here and we'll see this differently. When it's up high in the sky, that's just how it works. That's just what happens. When it's real low in the horizon, we'll see the beam. So it's not like I'm not able to show you what I want. I'm just showing you what it is. That's just how it works. So the beam is there, or the spotlight on the down below on the reflection, and just moving a few feet changes that. One of the other things that I'd like to show you is just dropping the lens down a few feet and picking it up. We can see further. It's not because the earth is curved, it's not. Now, round doesn't necessarily mean spherical. A frisbee is round, a compass is round. The lens of my camera that I'm going to want to put a flash in is round. That flash will get a bird to snap and look at me, or like a sniper wants to protect their lens from being visible. So I'm like a photo sniper, a photojournalist, showing you the world that we actually live in. Contrary to the Truman Show. Truman's living in the movie set and doesn't know it, and people are watching him. Well, I'm wanting to show a watching world what's going on, what's actually happening here. So the low spot in the beach, once again, right here, we can see it because of the way the water came in and went out. Very simple. The drier sand is higher. The water went out and down. The ocean has water going into underground aquifers. How does the tidal activity work? I'm not exactly sure. In the account in Genesis, the flood that Noah prepared for, God opened up the floodgates of heaven to allow water in and air going out. Then he caused the fountains of the deep to break forth. Like maybe you've seen some big fountains, like floodgates on a dam. A lot of water movement, and another water source caused it to start raining. I want to show you something. Right here we can see how the light is reflecting off of the tidal bowl there, and this sand right up here is pretty hard, and then I'll get into sand that is almost like quicksand, like liquefaction. Go up a little bit and it's hard. Could drive a car on that. Okay, so all of this is very repeatable observations. You can do it yourself. You can explore it, or let's say you're mobility impaired. Let's say you've got family obligations and you can't take off and go to the beach. You can watch my channel if you want. You can check it out. I've got a Google Chromecast that allows me to broadcast my wireless router from my YouTube channel or desktop right up onto my television in the room. The little cats are watching it. I'm moving at about the same angle that tidal bowl is. That's why the reflection follows. Bam, there's the laser beam, there's the interruption. There's a little bit of a slope to that sand, I can tell, because the light beam is staying continuous, more so, and there's a flow going away from me, going down. When I walk out here in the morning, drop off my shoes and take a look around, I can see basically kind of what the shape of the beach is, where the tide's coming in, where the high and low spots are, and the flat water is indicative of all of that. or where it was. And it matters because the truth matters. That's the point of that. Many atheists like I was, clinging to my priests of the godless cosmic Big Bang so I could do my own thing. Well, I'm one of the guys jumping up there and say, hey, they're lying. Do you like being lied to? Are you tired of being lied to? Well, they're lying. I ain't buying. I've got millions of views. You can see the clips of the little snippets that they pulled out. It's not that they made fun of it. They made fun of me saying about the toilet water not flying out on people in Australia because of gravity. Well, hello, it's just water seeking its level. That's what it does. When Brady asked me the questions, I was ready to roll. It's not that I had to work up my routine. I've been watching this for years. I've loved to be around water all my life. And then the other thing is, you don't feel yourself spinning. Let me put my in that. You don't feel yourself spinning, wobbling, or gyrating, do you? There's no movement of the earth that's ever been proven. The earth doesn't move. That's reality and that's biblical. Whether you like it or agree with it or not. That's not the issue. The issue is the truth just is, no matter how few people believe it. And a lie is still a lie, no matter how many people believe it. Come on, some of this stuff that I'm saying, you've heard other people say before. It's not that I'm wanting you to credit me for it. One of them that I got credit for, it's one of the first quotes that I've ever seen somebody put together on a post they tagged me in. And it went like this: I thought I was born again until I actually was. And they credited that to me. I thought it was kind of interesting and very much a reality of the world that we live in, is that there's a lot of people that are going around thinking they're all happy and going to go to be with Jesus. Well, maybe not. Okay, so I'm going to show you aerodynamics and hydrodynamics and the differences in density and mass right before your eyes. Oh, it didn't land right side up. That's okay. It'll still float for a little bit. Ah, there's a crab in the shot. Do you think he's alive? Not so much. He'll be food for other stuff, evidently. That's just part of the life cycle of the beach. Now the squid didn't get out of here, I'm sure. I'm going to see if I can find him. When I came out here, I saw a whole lot of water movement. It was this little squid that was using hydrodynamics, fluid dynamics. There he is, right there. Can you see him? Honest movie trailers, squids moving in tidal pools, and people liking it. I had somebody say, hey, your videos are too long. You gotta get it out there sooner. It's like, well, hey, there's a lot of material to cover. I'm working on new material all the time. Part of the deal with this too is that when I want to show you the activity of the tidal activity, or just me being in the tidal pool and stepping out, just look at how quickly that the ripples go away. Now, if I walk carefully and step right up here onto that, well, it doesn't cause the water to be rippled there. It's just how it works. So sometimes I'll kind of step over, because I'll only get a little bit of time for a shot. Hi, Pooch. That's Pooch over there running, and Dee. A lot of times I'll notice the pet before I recognize the owner is on the beach. We've got a lot of rescue pet owners here. The ripples there are that squid moving around. Oh, he saw me coming. I wasn't even in the water. He's in the middle of the view. I don't have anything to catch him, and I really wouldn't want to hurt him, so I'm not going to get all sidetracked with that. Okay, there's a little tidal pool. Let's put the sun right in it. Okay, pick it up, move it down. It's precision like a laser beam. When I see the, I'm driving down the road, I'll see a puddle in the road and the light, like a street light or a light on a house, line up like that, bam. That's just the way it is. So I'll show urban displays of reflections to help illustrate that this kind of activity is happening all over the place. Because the bubble that's in a construction contractor level uses water to center the bubble. That's how it works. It's perfect. A bullseye bubble level. I had one floating in here on my photo album, and then I've got a seashell, a big one, size of a grapefruit, floating on the water. It's as thin as a light bulb, and it's big. You can see it. So I've been out here doing this activity for years, and so between my Facebook and photo album on Facebook, as well as my YouTube channel, there's compelling evidence there. Now, it's not just what I've compiled or what I've captured myself. It is also what I've located that other talented movie producers like Robbie Davidson has done an excellent job with that. ODD. He's got 1 million views now on a video I just put on my liked video playlist. A Stranger's Guide to the Flat Earth, 21 questions. There were half that many views before the Flat Earth International Conference in North Carolina, where I had the opportunity. So I'm on my way. It's raining. I left from the accommodations there, and I got a little sidetracked. Imagine that. Well, what happened was it put me right on time. There's their reflection, and there they are. It'll do that all over. Anyway, so the thing was, it was more of a choreography going on. I realized was going to happen. It caused me to pull up right to the Vice News TV crew, and I had an opportunity to interact with them for a while. And what they put out there I thought was amazing, that they let that out. And then the other thing was that information was carried out by more YouTube channels. So I know I've said this before, and I do repeat myself. Being on PewDiePie's first video was quite a shocker and a privilege for me. Being left out of his second video was even a bigger one, because he spent about a third of his first video making fun of what I was saying and me personally, and then he didn't even mention me. And I sent him plenty of meme-worthy review material, and you can see the second video and what I post and what I put out there. I basically sent him my YouTube channel and my Facebook profile so he could do what he wanted with it. So one of the things that Matt Long mentioned of what I said in a video that we produced together, Matt recorded it when I was out on the beach right about here. And one of the final things, I realized that we were complicit. We were involved in promoting a deception we didn't realize was there. And then the reality was, what will you do when you find out? What will you do? The friend I was talking to was wronged by a scam artist, and she's passionate about wanting to find this individual and out her and take her to court and all that. And I said, you know, it seems like you're better off to block her from harassing you and moving on. And what I wanted to say as well is that the bigger scam artist is Satan, and he's perpetrating the biggest lie on humanity ever, and I'm outing him. Now here's where it gets kind of complicated. Nothing is going to happen in this world that God doesn't cause. The God who created this world doesn't cause or allow. He's sovereign. He's in charge. He gave me His Holy Spirit and a love for the truth. There, the horizon rises to eye level. It's just what it does. Anyway, I just wanted very much to help her to realize the value of exposing the reality. Of course, she doesn't believe it's a reality yet. The way it was for me, I had a love for the truth when I was born again. And then when I looked at this, I realized the truth right away. I called Mark Sargent after I finished watching his Flat Earth Clues. Flat Earth Clues. And remember, ask questions. I've been asking questions before I ever met Mark Sargent. Yeah, see those buildings? Isn't that something? Let's flip it around and show you in the proper direction. In selfie mode, everything is reversed. So we'll see the lady show up in the reflection. Just watch her. There she comes. We'll see the coloring really good because of her color contrast. It's kind of like a spoiler alert on my photo album and videos. Oh yeah, I might be showing you a dad and a daughter holding hands and a bucket and a shovel in the other hand, and they may be reflecting in some flat water. I'm wanting to engage the heart and the mind, the eyes and the heart. There's a big disconnect with that. And that's why, even though I encourage people to hear, share, and obey God's Word, if they believe the Bible is irrelevant and a fairy tale, why would they do that? I'm here to say it ain't no fairy tale, baby. You got to get this one right. You got to get it real right. You got to make sure that when you can't fog a mirror or make ripples in a tidal pool, here, let me do that. Figure it'll still work. Oh, still working. Still making those ripples. How about that? Do you figure that the ripples will interrupt the reflections? Every time, baby. Not part of the time, every time. It's true science. Repeatable observations. For anybody that has the naivete to say that I'm unscientific, then they don't know what science is, because I'm showing the reality of repeatable observations that are important. They show fluid dynamics, hydrodynamics, social dynamics. Somebody loses a loved one and they get a puppy and come out to the beach, they'll be bombarded with people's activity wanting to introduce themselves to your puppy. Oh, now look at this. This is a classic. That fish is alive. Now I want to show you something, and it might get me a little choked up. That fish is a-moving, and do you think he's happy? Wow. I've done that before, only a big one. He was like a foot long. He looked like he was dead. It's a happy fish. Does it make any difference? To that one it did, right? I can't come up with this stuff. That's part of what I'm wanting you to see. This isn't natural. This is supernatural. God, who created this life experience we're living in, is the one that helped that fish to get stuck in the ground and not be dead yet. I showed you the dead crab and the fish that is now happy to be alive. He's just chilling there, but he can see me. That's the funny thing of it. and I can flash he can see the reflection of my glass face on my camera. I'm going to let him chill out, see if I can find anything else here to show you. Right in the middle of the view there is a little puddle. And that's certainly the side of that building. At some point, it's a small puddle. If I want to put the sun right on the little high spot there, you think I can do it? How about the cloud right next to it? How about that? There it is. It's a plane mirror, folks. You think I can walk it around there? You think I can do that? I'm moving a few feet to make that happen. That's part of the training for photography and videography. I'm not just exposing the global eye. If you want to learn how to take pictures, I'll be happy to teach you. I've already got the curricula all posted. And what I would say is the most important reality is to have the creator of this world living in you and through you to be able to pull dying fish out of the sand, to just reach in there and grab them and set them free. I met people that got free from heroin because they met me, and then they transitioned all the way home to be with Jesus because they died of a complication in the hospital. But my friend Tim just got all teary-eyed. He delivers fuel near where we live, and he said, "I'm so glad I met you. Thanks so much for telling me what you did." So we can reach into humanity and make a difference. A lot of people are thinking that the Bible is a fairy tale and that this world that we live in is a spinning ball, and they're trusting the theoretical physicists that are presenting a transhumanist apotheosis. Apotheosis is like becoming gods. Okay, if I use words that you don't know, pardon me, I know. I know what they are. You might want to look them up. And I'm not saying that to be condescending. That's how I got to know them. If I heard a word that I didn't know, I would look it up. So what's happening is people are being presented a false reality and making any life decisions that are affecting their eternal perspective. What will they see for eternity is going to be based on what they do here in this world. How cool. Okay, so where will the reflection be? Well, it'll be right up here. I didn't flip the camera over. The ripples are down below. Now, I'm not saying that that gentleman is too old to have a child that young. It's very likely a grandparent. I know of firsthand a lot of grandparents raising their grandchildren because the parents they either died or are unavailable. They're addicted and they can't break free. That's why I unapologetically make all this stuff, this information, all public and visible. I'm not embarrassed to share the truth about the need to be born again and that it happened to me, and I want to see it happen to others. So now we can see where the water is coming in. And I'm gonna zoom in a bit on the pelicans. They like to glide across the waves. It's awesome to watch them. See, they're not going off the edge of a spinning, wobbling, gyrating globe. They're just going lower than my eyes can see them. Now they're up where it's real easy to see them. I might have to get a magnifier to read a prescription, not that I read prescriptions for myself, or ingredients for a label. However, I can see an eagle over miles away. I can tell because I've zoomed in on them with my camera. So this is the time of the year when a lot of singles come out here looking to restart their life. They don't want all the children around as much. So we've got the people that are divorced or widows or widowers. And then the families with young children that aren't in school yet, quite often, or homeschooling. And I know that because I talk to them. They talk to me. They come up to me and ask me what I'm about, what I'm doing. And I have no problem telling them, as I'm sure you know. It's because I care. It's not how much I know, it's how much I care. Here it comes. It doesn't get tired of doing this. So right here we've got some water flowing out of this little pool, and it's flowing in. And there will be a time when it goes back and forth a little bit, and then by midday the sun or the tide will be above that dark line there. It's what it does. The shock waves of the water will transfer then. That little fish that I rescued will probably be able to swim out there now. I've actually seen sharks in tidal pools like this, like 3-footers. It's unusual, but it happens. We had an 8-foot bull shark caught out here over in the coastal preserve area. I heard it was at the point. That's where we are. Okay, look at what's happening to my legs right now, my feet. Can you imagine trying to get out of the way of a big wave coming in? Yeah, it could make it really tough for you. People drowned out here. That's why it's important to be careful, to know the risks. Because of the tidal pool shape and the water coming in, they'll rotate in opposite directions right next to each other. It's not because of any movement of the earth, it's the movement of the water. And one of the reasons for the extended broadcasts like this is to let you see for yourself. I don't have a green screen that I'm doing computer graphic imagery with. I've just taken my iPhone 10 out here for a walk on the beach, setting fish and people free. How about that? How about that? So when are people like Steven Anderson, you got to repent for being stupid, for being an idiot. That's what he's telling flat earthers. It's stupidity, he's saying, to believe in the flat earth. Well, it's biblical, Stephen. What you going to do with that? He bugs me. I'd like to talk to him face to face. I sure would. Yeah, Steven Anderson, if you're listening, or if you're in his congregation, or you can pass this video on to him. Heck, I'll send it to him myself right today. I'll do that. When I get home, I'll go ahead and put this in a message, send it to Steven Anderson. Hey, guess who messaged me last night? Mark Sargent. I showed him Mysterious Sunrise. He said, include flat earth in the description. And I did. You can see it. It's on my liked videos towards the top. It's a mind-blowing video. I don't even know what to make of it. My point is, I sent a message to him, just like I called him years ago, and I said, hey Mark, I just watched your video. The earth isn't a ball. We're on a flat earth. He said, I didn't talk to him until like years later. The photo of me holding my business card, I was holding an Illuminati game card at the Flat Earth Conference. I just threw my business card on the computer and snapped a photo and put it up there. When the next conference, I'll probably have my YouTube channel shirt. Let's flip it around so you can see it in the proper orientation. I'll do it like that, but what I'll probably do too is wear my suit coat like I was wearing there, and just maybe a black shirt underneath. I can clean it well. I don't have, one of the issues that I had there at the conference, I was car camping. I didn't stay overnight in a hotel room, so I had to use, and it was raining. It was kind of a little bit interesting. I was economizing. I pay my own bills. I don't have a sponsor like that. Jesus provides for me. I'm not telling you so you'll send me money. I don't even have a GoFundMe yet. I may have to. There's the beautiful reflection there. So eventually, a big wave will come in here and it'll swash on up and cover all of this. You think that'll happen? I believe it'll happen. Yeah, about as much as I can believe anything else. So part of the deal with all this is faith without works is dead. So like when I go to bed early and get up early and get a few hours of sleep in a day, because I'm passionate about this. 3 people per second no longer have their human experience. Here's one of the fishing boats going out for Aloha Water Sports. Shout out to Aloha. They're on my photo album. 2 boats right next to each other. The light one and the dark one. You can see it. Okay, that's zoomed in. That's zoomed out with pelicans in the view. Look at how much smaller that got. Yeah, and there's another one of them right out there too. So part of the deal with this is that it's very interesting what we can do with the technology today. I'm going to lose the broadcast quick because of no battery, extra battery. So a couple of things. We can subscribe to 100 YouTube channels in a day. The wave just finally came in here. There it is. And then we can have 2,000 subscriptions. It'll get to an equalizing, and then another wave is coming in. That's the precision with all of this. Here we go. Fluid dynamics. There's the basin. What happens too is the rotation of the water in one direction actually helps create the rotation in the other direction. So that's why they'll spin opposite directions as best I can tell. Now it's going back out. There's a couple other areas of housekeeping, or not housekeeping, just things that we can do. So one of the things that I can do, and I did it last night, there was a video that I liked, and I shared it, and I went and I actually loved it, and then I loved maybe 100 other posts of that. I didn't have time to chase all around and find out everywhere it went. I just went to where it was shared from and loved it. Maybe 100 times. that lets a whole lot of other people interested in knowing the truth that I might be the only one that loved it. Do you think they might come and visit my profile? I would hope so. I would hope so, because I care. Oh, well, the sun just showed up there again. I wonder if it'll happen again. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's just the actual reality of all of this. Convex shape. We're reaching the point where it's a few minutes away from covering this all up. So I've got pictures of that island in beautiful reflections out here. But the way that this is now is there's much more of a convexity than there used to be. Much more of a slope to all of this. And you can see it on the photos. So some of the photos and videos that I'm posting are from a couple years ago, because I don't know in my lifetime that I'll ever see it as flat as it was. It takes a long time to move this sand around. Actually, it can happen in one storm, though, if conditions are right. That's the other aspect of it. So there's the really bright lighting up of a building and the dark sand color contrasting. And that's part of the dynamic. So if I take take you out for a ride in the car during a rainstorm, I'm wanting to show you some stuff. There's the buildings in those little puddles. Now they're gone. Now they're there. And that's all part of the dynamic of the photography. And the reality. I'm just wanting to compile the evidence and show you. Now the dog will help show us depth of the water. And the person. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Excellent, thanks. What a beautiful day, huh?
Yeah.
What's your puppy's name?
Claire.
Claire? Hi, Claire. Hi, girl. So maybe you noticed the rotation as the water came out. You could move it back if you want, but that's what will essentially happen. This width of water comes out, and then it creates a rotation that way and this way. It's just what it does. It's the fluid dynamics. Now there's the puppy activity I was talking about. That's Claire and Claire's mom. Oh, is she happy? Oh, chasing a tennis ball. There you go. That's one of the examples of that I talk about. The water, dog spit, and sand flies off the spinning ball. Oh yeah. She might be playing hard to get. I don't know. Oh, look it. She's going to let her throw it. Oh, here we go. And then the particulate in there helps us see the rotation. And then the sand will just drop out of that. Look at how flat that is now. Remember all the contours that were there just a short time ago? Here, let me move the lens so I can show you a little differently. So in the summer, now today, the sun came up over here. I'm going to leave it here. In the winter, it's going to come up way over here and stay way low in the sky and do that. I've got video showing it, proving it. Oh, I think he's trying to catch the fish or the squid. Did you find the fish or the squid? Oh, you got the squid.
Oh my goodness.
The squid's on my live broadcast. Here, let's.
Hi, live webcast.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, you'll be able to see them on your on the video when I post it on YouTube. It's on Facebook Live right now. Do you want to let him go?
I'm gonna let him go.
How nice. I'll get a close-up of you setting him free. Getting all that sand out of his pumping system.
All right, there he is.
He'll be easier to get a hold of now. I'm going to help him out a little bit. Oh my! Yeah.
He did.
Evidently they got teeth. So there you go. I don't think he knew I was helping. Oh yeah, look I'm bleeding. There's my, let me flip it around. Let me see if I can do that. It hurt a little bit, but there's the blood coming out. So what I'll do. Hey, thanks for catching them. That was awesome. So what I'll do is I'll not pick them up again. It doesn't take me too many squid bites to realize that I don't need to do that again. How about that? Taking one for the team. So here he is, just chilling. I don't know why I'm going to try and get my focus better. I might have a spot on the lens or something. Okay, so here we go. He's just chilling there. Wow. Look at that. Yeah, squid have teeth. So what I did, just so you know, is I pull real hard and suck the salt and the toxins out, whatever was there, and then just spit that out. Wow, there's my making some ripples. Imagine that. I think that's pretty cool. I hope he's okay. The teeth are on the front end. I'm gonna see if I can get him to move around a little bit. I want to help him get the sand flushed out of his system. I think he'll be okay. That ocean water's just about to get there. But he's not as quick to get around as he was. There he goes. Oh yeah, he's good. He's good now. So what you had a chance to see was an interaction with that group of people, the group of three. One of them said, oh, I believe she said, I love cam broadcasts or something like that. So they'll very likely check out this interaction. They'll see the squid out here, and then they may explore the content that's on my shirt, and they can check that out if they want to. So I actually do really enjoy what I do. There's no doubt about that. Some might say, who wouldn't want to spend all day at the beach? Well, I don't. I'll process content. However, I enjoy it a lot. So now that I'm standing in, basically it's like quicksand. And I'm not going to want to get that into the area where that squid is trying to survive. I'll just move out of the way. So whatever that bite did, there's a little discoloration, no pain. Whenever I get a finger poke, like a cable or a wire, or like an awl, like like for testing wires, a wire tester, I'll pull with my mouth the toxins out of that. It's just a good thing to be able to do. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you. Well, both. I just wanted to say hi to you again too. And then in the like shadows and reflections, I could look at a photo and see the shadows and get an idea of the time of day it was. When they're like right on top of each other, it's around noon, like straight down. And during a sunrise, his shadow would come all the way over to here, very likely, maybe 100 feet long when the sun first comes up. So when I look at the moon landing hoax and the fake photos and all of that, I can see it's a fake. I'm not guessing that the moon landing was a hoax. I know it was. That shouldn't be a surprise to most people watching this video or this broadcast. So a year ago or so, just about, my dad passed away, and I hope he's in heaven. I sure told him how important it was to be born again. The interesting thing of it, I had talked to him about Jesus for, like over 35 years, and it was hard for him to process why I was still struggling so much if I actually had Jesus. Well, when I was actually born again, I talked about, it changed how I related to him. I basically, he knew where, I told him what happened. I thought I was born again until I actually was. Got his attention. So these are all mostly my footprints in the sand right here. And they'll get washed away, much like the people walking on the beach. Like I say, there's a lot of reflections out here. As water reflects a man's face, God's word reflects the man. And one of the dynamics with that, when I look in the mirror now, I'm not embarrassed about what I see. I'm not ashamed of the man that I've become. Because it's a work that God is doing to give me new life. So, like, I'm going to go right back close to where I was and just show you how this has all changed. Most of the contours and textures are being filled in by the water, and I'm pretty sure that it's about the same depth that it was before, so I could walk out in it. The puppies that run around out here help to show that. It's just a little movement of the lens placement. That's all that is. So, like when I move the lens of the camera 1,100 miles up to Wisconsin, the duration. Look at the counter rotation here, this way and that way. That's what I called earlier. I mentioned it. You're looking at it bigger. Hopefully you can see that. It's just the fluid dynamics. You could do it in a sink, fill it up with water and get the water spinning opposite directions. It'll do that. I think we'll probably get it again, but maybe not as long because it's going to fill it all up. We're getting it somewhat. So I just have my tripod up there. That's a convex surface. So where I live, the bed that I sleep in most nights is roughly 20 feet above this level right here. Only 20 feet. So, like, it's not about the distance in as much as the distance up in elevation. So earlier on, when they first renourished, there was a big pile of sand up there, and it just got washed and moved and distributed all around out here. And some of the sand, I suspect, came from further south, or west, actually. This is a south-facing beach. So right now you're looking directly south. A bunch of little minnows in here now that came in. Yeah, they can just go right back out too. So I talked with the software consultant out here, and he just wanted to know why people weren't swimming over back there, and I said, well, because there's sharks out there, sometimes it's feeding time. He wasn't too excited to hear anything I had to say about the shape of the earth or the Bible. Hey, Zoe. Hi, Donna. Now Zoe will show us the water depth. Yep, there's a little water seeking its level right there. Zoe. Good girl. Hey, Zoe. And there we go. And then that water will just go, or that urine just goes down into the sand. Good morning. Now she'll chase after fish. That's one of the things she'll do. Or squids. She'll chase after whatever in there moving around. Now Gilligan's off the leash. He's a cute little puppy. Oh, now there's some solids seeking their level. Zoe's going ahead and giving Donna a little something to pick up. Now we can see the rotation from a different angle. Wow, it's perfect. Look at the whirlpool. Whirlpools, they're actually counter one another. They're rotating opposite. That was better than I thought. I'll see if I can show that again from a different vantage point. See, and we're obviously looking at different elevations here. We still have a little water going both directions here. Soon that'll change. We'll get the water coming back up. So when I was in Wisconsin, I videoed a river ignoring several hundred feet of missing curvature elevation difference. The Fox River flows north out of Lake Winnebago into the Bay of Green Bay. I've got a video I did on it. But even more impressive than that is the Nile River that ignores the missing, well, there's curvature missing everywhere. But like 4,000 miles the Nile travels north or in towards the center. Not really up, but in. So you can circumnavigate the globe, or the globe. There is no globe. In your mind, maybe. You can circumnavigate the puddle that covers the face of the earth. You just need to do east or west, because you're not going to be able to, you're going to run into land if you go north or south eventually. Kind of looks like a hurricane, doesn't it? The swirl there. All of the weather systems to me make a lot more sense now that I know what I know about this, that we're on a level plane, how the storms and water and tornadoes and the fluid and aerodynamics, how all that works. The sun is going to be moving away from us here. It has been continually this time of the year. It's going to give us, we're approaching autumn. You know, we're in the early first third of August, prime hurricane season. So now it's time to get my tripod and camera. I got a ProMaster. It's really good. Carbon fiber, lightweight, with nice size feet on it. But the real game changer is the swivel head there. The ball design allows me to adjust for level real quickly, and that makes a big difference. Well, it won't be long and the squid is probably going to be traveling out. You'll be able to see a big wave brought the water up, and now it's flowing back downhill. Right there's the evidence of that. The reflection of the gentleman in the rather calm water. All of this is all repeatable. This is not fabricated. It's not augmented reality. It's just reality. I'm not showing you science fiction. I'm showing you science fact. It's just what it does. And part of the dynamic that you can scroll back and look at later if you care to, or you can even see it somewhat now, I know I can, is there's symmetry with the way that this layout is because of the fluid dynamics. So low tide was at I believe it was 6:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at this location. And then Myrtle Beach is like an hour and 15 minutes or so behind us. This is going to resonate with some people, I'm sure. To see this, to scroll back and forth, it's the opposite of a time lapse. You get to see it in real time. There's a delay of about 7 seconds from what I'm looking at and what you're seeing. But it's still a transfer of it. And it's, I believe, a healthy transfer. It's truth, it's reality. Good morning. So, like, this is the lighter weight sediment, like the biological stuff, seaweed, or, you know, the different, doesn't look pretty. One of the reasons why I put coconut oil on my skin is to keep it from absorbing that. It's not all dry and cracked. It repels water, actually. The organic coconut oil does. So when I'm walking around in this, it's not turning my feet into like leather. Same thing with the youthful appearance that I enjoy. What I talk about quite often, I'll exfoliate with a baking soda, exfoliating gloves, and then afterwards massage the coconut oil in. But I've rinsed off with the highly purified water I talk about, carbon filtered, reverse osmosis, and I like it in the sun. I want to rinse that off because I don't have the money to shower in reverse osmosis water. What I can do is scrub up and rinse off with the tap water and then rinse that off with the purified water. Here's the other thing. When I wring the water off of my arm and legs, the water keeps coming out of my skin. I keep it opened up with the water. The purified water is really hot. I heat it up on the stove, so it keeps the skin, the pores opened up, and I want that circulation to happen. Remember, water is liquid oxygen and hydrogen. Good morning. Here we go. It's because of the shape of the basin that we get the flow direction. Clockwise, counterclockwise. At sea level. Yeah, I'm glad I came out and did this. I've got a 27-minute video I did with the P900 that I'm pleased with, and I'll bring that up. So I can stand up here and it's pretty solid. I step down here and I'll sink right in like quicksand. It's what I talked about earlier. There's a saturation level that occurs. My footprints in the sand will eventually be washed away. But see, this is all very gentle how it comes in. It can be, and then there can be a big wave that brings it all in over the top of that. When we had Hurricane Matthew, a storm surge came in of 14 feet above high tide. It flooded over the roads like 3 or 4 feet, depending on where it was. And then the water can go right back out if it's connected to a way to drain out. If there's a hole, it'll fill in the hole, it'll stay there. But the idea is, if it's connected to the ocean, it'll just flow right back out. That's why the storm sewers are so important here. The water, the sewer water or storm water systems are really a big deal over like at Broadway at the beach. That whole area is a little bit higher in the middle, and then there are ditches that have culverts connecting massive water flow capacity that can take place. See, a whole bunch of water can come in and then just go right back out here. It's no problem. It does it every day. We get a high and a low tide twice a day. And you can load the Tides Near Me app on your device if you want to, and look at tidal projections all over the world. I'm looking for the squid. I think here's the fish that I rescued. He's chilling out a little bit. Oh yeah, he's still okay. So right here we've got where water comes up out of those little orifices, and preceding that, air will come out. Air bubbles will bubble out. Now see, the entrance into this little pool is asymmetrical. It's not like right in the middle. But there's still a counterclockwise, and there was a clockwise rotation there. Fluid dynamics. Little fish in the tidal pools, and then they'll be heading on out in a little bit. Uh-oh. The squid is down here. I hope he's okay. No, that's not the squid. Good. If that was the squid, he wasn't looking so good. So you can imagine the flood that Noah prepared for. People started really freaking out because water came up from the ground, came up from the bottom of the ocean, came in from all over and came down from the floodgates of heaven. So the flood is one of the evidences of the accuracy of Scripture. The biblical creation account is another very powerful evidence of the accuracy of Scripture. That's why this is such a big deal. Big deal because the truth matters. If Scripture were a fairy tale, do your own thing. It's not. It's accurate in its historical proclamations and the evidence that has been found to back that up, and the projection of future events called prophecy, and then the fulfillment of that. And then you've got changed lives like me. That's part of what I'm about, is showing you the reality of a guy who's free. I'm free, I'm rock solid, as PewDiePie was making fun of. I am rock solid. I mean, when I'm hey, when I'm home alone, I don't have to be ashamed of what I'm doing there. You know, I don't have any secrets. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not a hypocrite the way I was. Home alone. That's kind of funny. Sometimes Joni will sneak in on me trying to catch me doing something. It's like, nah, I got nothing to hide. Not anymore. I used to. I always used to be up to something. That around. I always used to have an agenda. I was always up to something. Now I'm glad to be able to get to do what I get to do. This little bit here, the next wave that comes in is probably going to cover it up, and I'm probably pretty close to the end of the broadcast here. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Excellent. What a great day again, huh?
It's beautiful.
A lot of friendly people out here. Okay, so here's some of the water coming out of that, like I had mentioned earlier. It's the pressure pushing up. That's just what it'll do. There's a lot of weight with that water, so it'll do that. So I believe what I'm going to do here is grab my power pack and just let this run. Because it's compiling evidence, I don't need to continually narrate it. What I'll do is I'll set it up so you can watch it come on in, and I'll be a few minutes of getting my battery supply. Okay, so right here we can see the low spot in the middle. and then it'll just keep on coming. I'll just have it off to this side. This is the good side to be on, and then you'll see it coming right on in. Hopefully I get back before the battery goes dead. I should be able to. I have another cleat coming in. I had a problem with my other one.